The world we don't know. We live in the age of total transparency. Between high-res satellites, GPS tracking, and billions of smartphones, we like to think there isn't a square inch of this planet we haven't cataloged. But that's an illusion. Behind triple-layered electric fences and deep within mountain ranges, there are cities with populations in the tens of thousands that officially do not exist. They are closed cities. In Russia, they call them ZADO, short for Closed Administrative Technological Formations. In the West, they are black sites. These are places where the laws of the outside world stop at the gate. Today, we're going beyond the checkpoints. From nuclear paradises to underground bunkers designed for the end of the world, these are 10 cities the world isn't allowed to see. Ozersk, Russia. For over 40 years, Ozersk was known only as City 40. It was the birthplace of the Soviet nuclear program. If you lived here in 1947, you were essentially dead to the world. You couldn't write letters, you couldn't tell your family where you were, and you were removed from all official records. While the residents enjoyed luxury goods like condensed milk and butter, luxuries rare in the USSR, they were breathing in some of the most toxic air on Earth. In 1957, the Kishtim disaster occurred here, the third worst nuclear accident in history. The government covered it up for decades. Even today, Ozersk is surrounded by a massive physical perimeter. To get in, you need a permit from the FSB, the successor to the KGB. For the 80,000 people inside, the fence isn't there to keep them in. They believe it's there to keep us out. Mercury, Nevada. Just 65 miles northwest of Las Vegas lies a town that should be a tourist goldmine, but instead, it's a high-security vacuum. Welcome to Mercury, Nevada. Established in the 1950s, Mercury was the base camp for the Nevada test site. It had everything: a bowling alley, a movie theater, and a post office. But its residents weren't there for a vacation. They were there to watch the sky turn white. Between 1951 and 1992, over 1,000 nuclear explosions were detonated just miles from this town. Although full-scale testing has stopped, the ground is still littered with radioactive craters and unexploded materials. It's managed by the Department of Energy, and if you try to hike there, you'll be intercepted by camo dudes, private security with authorization to use deadly force. Seversk, Russia. Deep in Siberia sits Seversk, once known as Tomsk 7. During the Cold War, this city produced more weapons-grade plutonium than almost anywhere else on Earth. It housed 7 nuclear reactors and a massive chemical plant. What's fascinating about Seversk isn't just the security, it's the loyalty. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, most closed cities were given the option to open up. The people of Seversk voted no. They preferred the safety of the walls. In Seversk, there is virtually no crime, the streets are clean, and everyone has a job. It's a socialist time capsule protected by military checkpoints and modern biometric sensors. Mezhgorye, Russia. If you look at Mount Yamantau on a map, you'll see the town of Mezhgorye at its base. Since the 1990s, the United States has observed massive excavation projects here via satellite. We're talking about a project the size of Washington, D.C., carved inside a mountain of solid quartz. What is it? Some say it's a dead-hand facility, a command center designed to launch a nuclear retaliatory strike automatically if the Russian leadership is killed. Russia officially claims it's a mining site or a food storage area. But you don't guard a grain silo with 2 entire regiments of soldiers and a permanent no-fly zone. Mezhgorye remains one of the most impenetrable mysteries of the 21st century. 404. Factory, China. In the vast, wind-swept Gobi Desert, there is a place that sounds like a broken internet link. 404 Factory. It was built in the 1950s for one purpose: to give China the atomic bomb. At its peak, the best scientists in China lived here in a 4-square-kilometer micro-city. It had its own police force, its own schools, and even its own court system. Today, most of 404 is a ghost town. The residents have been moved to nearby cities, but the site remains heavily guarded. Why? Because the underground labs, the heart of the city, are still active. It's a city that exists in two layers, a crumbling ruins on the surface and a high-tech fortress beneath the sand. Sarov, Russia. Sarov is a place of bizarre contradictions. In the 1700s, it was one of the holiest sites in Russia, famous for its monastery. But in 1946, the monks were kicked out and the nuclear physicists moved in. It became Arzama 16. This is where the Tsar Bomba, the most powerful explosive ever detonated by man, was designed. Today, the monastery has been restored and the monks have returned. However, they live side by side with Russia's most elite nuclear scientists. The entire city is wrapped in layers of sensors and fences. It's a place where they pray to God and build weapons that could destroy his creation, all behind a curtain of total secrecy. Pine Gap, Australia. Imagine a piece of the United States dropped into the middle of the Australian Outback. That is Pine Gap. Officially a joint defense facility, it is actually one of the most important CIA/NSA bases outside of American soil. The giant white golf ball domes you see in photos house antennas that intercept signals from across the Eastern Hemisphere. They track missiles, eavesdrop on communications, and manage drone strikes. If you try to fly a drone anywhere near here, it will be jammed instantly. If you drive toward the gates, you'll be met by federal police before you can even see the buildings. It's a city of spies in a land of nothingness. Snezhinsk, Russia. Originally called Chelyabinsk 70, Snezhinsk was designed to be the intellectual rival to Sarov. It was built in a beautiful lake district to keep the scientists happy and productive. The city is a masterpiece of concealment. From the air, it looks like a typical Russian resort town. But hidden in the forests are some of the most advanced physics labs in the world. Snezhinsk is still a closed city today. Even if you are a Russian citizen, if you don't have an internal passport stamped with a Snezhinsk permit, you'll be turned away at the rail line. It is a quiet, beautiful place where the smartest people in the country design the deadliest things imaginable. The DMZ villages, North/South Korea. Inside the 4-kilometer-wide demilitarized zone between North and South Korea, two villages exist in a state of permanent lockdown. On the south side, there's Daesungdong, Freedom Village. The residents are mostly descendants of the people who lived there before the war. They have a 11 p.m. curfew. They are checked by soldiers every single day. They earn massive tax-free incomes, but they live in the shadow of North Korean artillery. On the north side, there's Kijongdong, Peace Village. The South calls it Propaganda Village, because for years, it appeared to be a fake city with no residents, just lights that turned on and off on a timer to simulate life. It is a city designed to be looked at, but never entered. Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Our final city is unique. It isn't closed because of nuclear secrets or Cold War spies. It's closed because of faith. Mecca is the holiest city in Islam, and Saudi law strictly forbids non-Muslims from entering the city limits. While the other cities on this list house thousands, Mecca houses millions during the Hajj. It is a thriving modern metropolis with skyscrapers and malls, yet for billions of people around the world, it remains a forbidden city. A place of mystery that can only be understood through the stories of those who are allowed inside. These 10 cities prove that our world isn't as open as we like to think. Whether for national security, scientific advancement, or religious sanctity, these places remain off the grid. They are the blank spots on our digital maps, reminders that some secrets are too big to be shared. If you could spend 24 hours in any of these cities, which one would you choose? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more hidden history, make sure to watch our video on the link to another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a deep dive, and thanks for watching.